Hello children, welcome to my channel. So let's continue with the same chapter, carbon and its compounds. And today we'll discuss on this topic, soaps and detergents. So children, you all have come across many commercial advertisements. You'll have seen many advertisements where if there's a stain on a t-shirt, then it is dipped in a bucket of water and without even scrubbing it at times, the dirt just vanishes if there's any stain on it, right? On any fabric, any shirt, anything. So how is this possible? Like we see it in an advertisement, right? In seconds that this dirt just vanishes. You can get rid of these stains in no time. So just think, how is it possible? These soaps and detergents no doubt help us in our daily life. We use it for so many purposes, right? We use it for bathing, we use it for cleaning our utensils, we use it for so many things, cleaning our home, washing clothes, right? So how do these soaps and detergents work? So ask the question how, and definitely science will answer these questions. Our chemistry will explain to you all how does this mechanism work, right? So before I begin with this topic, I'd like to take you all into my kitchen and we'll do a small little experiment for you all to understand this concept much better. Take a glass and add water in it. Add some oil. I have added cooking oil and add sufficient quantity of oil. Mix it vigorously. I am using handheld mixer. It's a milk frother. It will stir it vigorously. Now just allow it to settle for almost 15 minutes. Keep it undisturbed for 15 minutes. Children, make your observations carefully and observe keenly this experiment so that we can draw conclusions through these observations. Just observe carefully and try to reason out. Check for the formation of any layers if there are any. Now I have added liquid soap. Again, I am going to stir it vigorously. And I am going to keep it undisturbed for 15 to 20 minutes. Now since 20 minutes are passed, I am just going to remove the froth that is accumulated on top. Children, observe carefully. Whether there are any layers formed in this experiment. Observe the appearance of this soap solution. Check for the formation of any layers if there are any. So children, I told you all to observe it very keenly. And what observations did you all make? So by these observations, we will reach to some conclusion, right? So in the first step, I mixed water and oil, right? I mixed water and oil, and then I tried to mix it forcefully with a handheld mixer, which is a milk frother, and try to mix it. And I kept it for some time, for almost 10 to 15 minutes undisturbed after mixing it vigorously. And after 15 minutes, again the oil and the water did not mix, they separated. Like, because of the density of oil being lesser than water, oil was floating on the top and there was water at the bottom. So there were two layers, distinct layers, that we could notice, right? And the second step, I added some soap, liquid soap, which I use to wash my vessels. I added few drops of it, and again I added the handheld mixer, the milk frother, and tried to mix it forcefully, vigorously. And I kept it then undisturbed for almost 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. And then I made some observations. So we made some observations, right? That in the first step, oil and water did not mix. Even if we tried to mix it forcefully with the mixer and kept it undisturbed, then they separate out in course of time. And in the second step, when we added the soap, we found only one solution, right? There was only one homogeneous solution. In the first step, remember, oil and water are enemies, right? They don't get along well. They are enemies, and that's why they don't mix. Even by forcefully trying to mix them, they do not mix. They are enemies, they don't get along well, and this is nothing but called in chemistry immiscible. Oil and water don't get along well, they are enemies, they don't mix, and this is nothing but called immiscible liquids in chemistry. So miscible is that mixes well into a nice good homogeneous mix, and immiscible is just the reverse of it, immiscible liquids. So oil and water, we all are aware, right, that they don't get along well, they don't mix even by forcefully trying to mix them. So in the second step, I added soap into it, liquid solution, and tried to mix it, and then we observed only one homogeneous solution, right? So since oil and water do not mix, right, so they need a mediator. So a mediator comes in between for help, and since oil and water are enemies, so this mediator helps in, and it makes oil and water friends. It makes them friends and both of them to bond together. So this is the role played by an mediator. So soaps play the same role in our chemistry. Soap does the same job. It comes in between and it tries to make oil and water friends. It tries to bond them both. Now let us understand this. So children, soaps have molecules of sodium or potassium salts of long chain carboxylic acids. Like, let's reason out. Now I have this soap in front of me, right? Just observe it carefully. So this is the soap that is used to wash utensils. So when we observe this, there is a picture of lemon in this, right? You can see clearly. Most of the soaps that we see have this picture of lime on it, right? So the reason is because it helps in cleaning. Lemon has potassium in it, right? So soaps are nothing but they have salts of sodium and or potassium or sodium salts, right? So soaps are nothing but they have molecules of sodium or potassium salts of long chain carboxylic acids. Now what happens? These molecules, consider this is a molecule in a soap and this is the hydrophilic end. And this is the hydrophobic end. So hydrophilic is nothing but having tendency towards water, having tendency to bond with water, and hydrophobic is nothing but repelling, so it doesn't get attracted towards water. So it's just the opposite. Hydrophilic is getting attracted, having the tendency towards water, it's attracted, hydrophilic, and hydrophobic is repelling from water. So these two ends are opposite, right? So all these molecules of soap, there are many molecules, they get attracted towards water. This is the sodium end, right? So it gets attracted towards water. So this is what is formed. So this is the oil. This is the oil droplet, and this is the molecule of soap, right? So one end is attracted towards the hydrocarbon, which is the oil, this end, which is hydrophobic, and the hydrophilic end, right, which is the sodium salt, is attracted towards water, and that is the reason they form these. So all these molecules of soap which are coming together and forming this structure, it is nothing but it is called micelle, and many of these structures that are formed are micelles, right? And that is how the dirt can be washed away, right? So the dirt is nothing but the oil stains. So this is how the soap helps in removing the dirt. They form micelles, many micelles, and these micelles, they remain in a colloidal state in the liquid, right? Because they don't form a precipitate because of the ion repulsion, right? So because of the repulsion, they don't form a precipitate and they remain in a colloidal state. And children, all these micelles that are formed in the soap water, they are in a colloidal state, right? And they are large enough and they scatter light. So that is the reason we made the observation in our experiment that the water, the liquid soapy water, it appears very cloudy, right? Because it's in a colloidal state because of the presence of the micelles. They scatter light. So children, this is very basic and very simple to understand. So just try to reason out, ask the question why and how does it happen. we use all these things in our daily life, but we fail to, observe it or even try to reason out that how does it happen. And chemistry is nothing but, trying to reason out and trying to correlate our daily life, the things that we use, with the theory that we study. It's nothing but the practical application with the theory that we study. So definitely now you will know how your clothes are cleaned and how do soaps and detergents work. And if you'll have any doubts or queries regarding this explanation, then don't hesitate, drop your comments, and I'll definitely try to reply to you all at the earliest. So subscribe to my channel and stay updated for my next topic.